What's up guys, thanks for tuning in. And I realize in making all these different videos, I haven't actually done a video of my impressions of the C8 as a first time Corvette owner. Yes, this is my first Corvette ever. And I chose to buy this car the moment it was revealed way back a few years ago. That was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, right? But I chose that I was going to buy this car. Back then, had a game plan to try to get this car. It took 18 months for me to get it from going into the dealership to actually getting it delivered. Overall, it's been a great experience so far. So before the C8, I had a 2018 Camaro SS, which I absolutely loved. I loved, it was a stick shift. It was great in regards to some of the stuff I'd done with that car. Didn't go crazy with the aftermarket mods, but definitely enjoyed that car. And going from that to this was totally a game changer and different in a ton of different ways. So, I mean, the performance was absolutely phenomenal. The dual clutch transmission honestly was like my favorite thing especially when I first got it. I never realized how much I would enjoy that. And just like the uniqueness of the car itself was just something that I'm glad that I invested the time to get this car. And it's honestly, it's a life bucket list item that I've checked off that I'm so happy to get to this point in my life to get that. By the way, thank you to all my subscribers that have been watching so far. It's really much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel as well as hitting that like button so you know when the next cool video drops. So some of the things that I thought about in regards to are obviously the performance. I think the performance is phenomenal for this car. And certain things like practicality. How practical is this car as a daily driver? Because I bought this car as a daily driver. So it's used all the time, whether it's sunny and warm or it's absolutely freezing and raining. So the only time it's not coming out is honestly when it's snowing or there's ice on the ground, because yeah, that's something I'm just not gonna deal with. So it's one of those things where I use this as my daily. It's my grocery getter type car. It pretty much does everything I've asked for it. Even some light duty trips to the Home Depot to get stuff, whether it fits in the trunk or the frunk. So heck, you can go, I've gone to Costco in this and I've gotten a reasonable amount of stuff, not the whole store, because that would definitely not fit in there. But in general, it fits quite a bit. I can easily fit a whole entire shopping cart from Costco into the C8 with no problem. Have a little bit of room to spare, honestly. It's, in regards to practicality, it's actually more practical than my Camaro SS, which is kind of crazy to say, but having that frunk along with the rear trunk makes the difference in why this car is actually way more practical than I ever thought it was going to be. So in regards to practicality, I mean, it's up there with your regular sedan, honestly. I mean, maybe a little bit less overall trunk capacity kind of deal than maybe a full-scale sedan, especially if you don't have those rear passenger doors. But for what it is great. And in general, I mean, one of the big things was how unique this C8, even nowadays, compared to most other cars. In regards to the uniqueness, that was one of the biggest things when I first got this car that I didn't realize how much of an attention grabber this car would be. I mean, this car, when I first got it and started driving it around, wherever I went, I had to basically take into account an extra 5 to 10 minutes going anywhere, because I would get constantly stopped by people asking about the C8. And I'm not one to shy about it. I'd gladly talk to anyone about it because I love this car so much. So that was one of those things. I never experienced that before. And it was actually kind of funny, the amount of looks that you got when you're driving one. Never had that before. So that was something that took some getting used to. People constantly looking at you driving the car and wanting to know more about it kind of deal, or just interested in the car in general. And so that's another thing, the uniqueness. But overall though, this car, as a first-time Corvette owner, this car for me is such a game changer. I'm so in love with the Corvette brand because of that. If it's something that you weren't really as sure about the C8 when it first got revealed compared to the C7 and all these stuff done, I will say that until I saw the C8, I would have never really considered getting a Corvette. And so it's made a loyal new customer from a new generation and really appreciate what GM and Corvette have to offer. Because honestly guys, I mean, they knocked it out of the park with this car. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please consider checking out any of my other videos like this one here for your C8 or car needs.